Hi leaders, good morning. Happy Tuesday. I hope that the weather has been as amazing wherever you are as it has been here in North Carolina. Yesterday and today and Sunday have all been beautiful. So I wanted to come up here and talk about two things: seasons of your business and knowing when and how to when and how to give yourself grace. I know that's hard. Actually, both of these things are hard, but seasons of your business, seasons in life are inevitable, and we all need to learn how to embrace it. Okay? So, a lot of us are in a struggling season right now. Good morning. I'm in the shower. A lot of us are in a struggle season right now, okay? So if that's you, I want to tell you, you're not alone, okay? For example, I pulled some numbers this morning as I'm on my walk, because after the 15th of the month, I always text my frontline that are paid at title. That's something new that I've started doing the last 3 months, is individually texting them saying, hey, I'm proud of you for being paid at title. Okay, Tuck. I'm proud of you for being paid at title. And so I was pulling numbers this morning, and out of 88 frontline, I have one person who's paid at title. One person. Okay? That's out of all titles. And obviously, I'm super proud of that person and her team, because clearly they're kicking butt, they're pushing through. But that doesn't mean that I'm not proud of my other 88 frontline. Okay? This season right now is hard. It's hard for a lot of us. Whatever your hard is, we all have a hard that's happening, most likely. If you don't have a hard right now, I'm freaking so happy for you that you are thriving, okay? But most of us have something going on in our life that's hard, and we're trying to work around it, we're trying to work through it, and just keep going. So, if you are struggling in your business, I want to tell you that I'm proud of you, and that you can do it, and that this moment where you are struggling is the most important part of your business, is when you push through and you remain consistent, okay? You might fall down, but that's when you have to get back up. If you want to see the rainbow on the other end, you have to get back up, and you have to keep going, okay? Even if this season might look different than a couple months ago, or than in the fall. It might look different in the way that you work. It might look different in the way that you complete your IPAs, and that's perfectly fine, okay? If bag parties aren't working for you, try something else. Stop doing bag parties. I've had many seasons where bag parties it wasn't it for me. I've had seasons where that was the only thing bringing in PRV for me. But right now, it's not working. Parties are not working. They haven't worked in 2 months, okay? You have to find another way, another route. But you have to give yourself grace along the way. I've had some people come to me and they're like, man, this month is hard. I want to give up. It sucks. And I'm like, I get it. I get it's hard. But are you going to throw away the last however many months that you have been pushing hard and working so hard? Or maybe it's years for you. Whatever that timeline is, are you really going to throw that away because you're having one rough month or 2 rough months? Are you going to throw it away? For example, I'm going to compare this. If you have a hard day in your relationship with your significant other, Do you just give up on that relationship? Most likely not, right? Most likely not. Most likely you guys are going to talk through it, work through it, figure out what needs to be changed, and go from there. It's the same thing in your business, okay? But you have to learn to give yourself grace. If you cannot give yourself grace, you're going to run yourself ragged, okay? So if you're not at your PRV numbers like you normally are, it's fine. Number one, I want to remind you that this is spring. And if you've never experienced a spring in Scentsy, well, welcome to spring in Scentsy, okay? It's going to be slower. It's nothing like the fall. It's going to be slow. And I do want to say, if you've been with Scentsy for the last 2 springs, those last 2 springs from 2020 and 2021, those are not normal springs with Scentsy, okay? There was a huge increase in demand for our products. People were joining left and right. They were buying all of our products left and right. Honestly, I was blown away, okay? Because in the 5 years, almost 5 years, those spring is not usually a bump in time. It's usually a slower time. Why? Because the weather's beautiful. People are out and about. A lot of people, okay, you don't know what someone's going through, but a lot of people, it's tax season. Well, tax season just ended. People might be recovering from maybe what they owed with their taxes. Okay, some people might have gotten returns and you might have seen an increase maybe if they got returns, but some people are owing money. Okay, so give yourself grace. Not every month is going to be your best month. And I know it sucks, but how I like to look at it is, you can't enjoy your really good months without having sucky months. Otherwise, your highest months, your best months, your most thriving months, what are you going to celebrate if month after month you're having a thriving month? There's no point in celebrating the highs if you can't appreciate the lows, okay? So learn how to give yourself grace. Please remember, you are not the only one struggling. Okay, I don't think by the 15th of the month, I don't think I've ever only had one active frontline out of almost 90 people. Okay, and I know for a fact it's not because they're not working. I know for a fact it's not because they're not working. It's because, I don't know why it's because. I know that they're working, but maybe they need to reflect and figure out, okay, this worked for me in the last couple months, but it's not working for me this month. So what can I do to fix that? What can I do to change it? And go from there. Yes, Jess, that too. She said, in the way prices are increasing for just essential everyday needs, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So there's a lot of things still going on in the world. Inflation is freaking absolutely ridiculous, but people are still losing their jobs. People are still losing their jobs for not being vaccinated. Okay? Still a thing. So, ooh, that was a bug. I don't like bugs. I'm doing okay, almost at 3,000, but team is slow. That's okay, girl. That's awesome if you're almost at 3,000. Okay, I shared this yesterday, but in case you guys didn't see it, I'm not gonna lie, so the first the first 3 years of my business, I was like really gung-ho on like sharing a lot on social media, Scentsy wise. I mean, like, I remember at one point I had a goal of going live every single day, and not just about Scentsy products, but I had a goal of going live sometimes with Scentsy products, unboxing and stuff, but sometimes just like of my dogs or of whatever we were doing at that time. And I think I burnt myself out of it. I was sharing so many pictures, like any product that I ever got, I was taking product photos, and I was like thriving in my business. And then I caught myself doing the comparison game, Okay. I remember when Reels were a really big thing and I had started it, and I actually I hadn't seen, no one that I followed anyway, obviously I didn't start this, but I hadn't seen any Scentsy consultants doing product reels or reels about the business opportunity. Okay. This was like 2 years ago. And so I started, this was in 2020, I started doing reels related to Scentsy in my business, okay? And I started doing them all the time. I remember being in my office and I would make a reel back to back to back to back, save them in my drafts, and then post them daily, right? And I even did like a reel challenge. I created a reel challenge for like our group and stuff. And then what happened was everyone else started doing reels, and I was seeing their reels, and I was intimidated. I was like, oh my gosh, my reels are nowhere near as good as hers. And I just got in my head, and then I noticed that I just kind of like fell off the reel game, and I just like stopped making reels anymore. Or I was still making them, but not as often. And that's because anytime, I cannot tell you how many times I have gone to make a reel and I've created it, and I had the idea in my head of like what I was going to talk about, how I was going to word it, and then as soon as I go to actually type it out, I would type it out and I'd be like, that's not good enough. And I would exit out and I would never go back to it. I probably have drafts from 2 years ago in my Instagram because I wrote out stuff and I thought it wasn't good enough. And so I basically just gave up, threw in the towel, walked away. That's the comparison game. And I know I've talked about that a lot, but I was reflecting over the weekend and I was like, you know what? I stopped sharing about the products that I love. I'm going to get back into that. And I'm going to stop second guessing on how I word things or what I look like in the video. And I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to post it. And I don't care. If there's mistakes in it, there's mistakes in it. I'm human. And so I started doing that. I started at the end of last week. And every morning I've woken up to like 2 or 3 new PWS orders. And I know for a fact it's because I actually stepped back out of my comfort zone. I pushed all those negative thoughts out of my head, or at least I hid them. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And I actually went to go check, and all of those orders that I have received so far, I go back and look at what they've ordered. They all purchased products that I had shown either a picture of, or I went on my stories about, or I did reels of. So it really does work. And I do want to say, I've had some other consultants reach out to me and say, well, I have done that. I've done that and I'm not seeing a return. Keep doing it, okay? Sometimes when you start something new or you get back into something that was working a while back, and I also want to touch base on this, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time, especially, this is a big one, okay? If you have fallen off the face of the earth in regards to your business, it is going to take time, and you decide to hop back on and give it another try. It is going to take time for your people that are following you on social media that were previously your customers to gain your trust back, okay? It's the same thing with your team or your group. If you fall off the face of the earth and you stop training, you stop showing up for your team, you stop reaching out through emails, you stop reaching out through text, you're going to lose trust in those people. And when you decide to come back because you're ready, you're now ready, right? It's going to be a little bit harder to gain that trust of those people, to gain their trust. Okay? It's the same thing with your customers. So I had someone reach out saying that basically she didn't have, her sponsor didn't give her mentorship. She doesn't think that she could do it because of her sponsor not being there for her. And I was like, number one, your sponsor has nothing to do with your success. Nothing to do with your success. They are just an added resource. They're just an added resource. If you have a good one, that's great. But if you have a bad one, that's not going to determine whether you're not successful or not. Okay? So if you have fallen off and you stopped sharing products. That's the one thing. I never stopped sharing products. I just stopped sharing as frequently. Okay? So, and I was being picky. I was choosing what I was going to share and what I wasn't going to share. And I was like, no more. I'm going to share my favorites, but I'm going to share it all. And I'm going to be completely honest with them. Okay? So, okay, that is a spider. I mean, it was a baby spider, but still. So, stop being picky. So, when I went live with the summer collection, feeling punchy made me want to vomit, okay? And that's because I have this parosmia thing from COVID. Certain things, there's one fruit in particular, I can't figure out what the fruit is, that smells rotten to me. It's not everything, but there's like one fruit, anything with onions in it, cannot do anything with onions, okay? But at the same time, I also am not a fan of fruit punch. I'm not a fan of anything fruit punch. So that goes also into play. But I told my customers, I was like, I mean, it's okay. It's nothing that I would ever purchase again. So just be upfront and real and honest with your people, okay? But give yourself time and be persistent. People, at the end of the day, people want to see you using the products. They want to know what your opinion of it is. And once they see that, oh, this isn't just a phase she's going through or he's going through, she's actually here for the long run, you're going to gain their trust. Okay? So give yourself grace. And if this is a hard season for you, give yourself grace. Okay? I know that that's hard, but stop logging onto your workstation and seeing, oh, I only have 1,000 PRV when you normally have 4,000 by this point. Give yourself grace. It's fine. At least you have 1,000 PRV, right? At least you have customers who are still supporting you to help you reach 1,000 in sales. Okay? So how about when we receive our paycheck for, what is it, May? Oh my God, I just walked over here and this is where the spider was. How about when we receive our paycheck for May, instead of looking at it as, oh man, my paycheck was $500 less or 50% less or whatever the case may be, how about we look at it as, okay, well, this is $500 more than I had last month. Okay? Or, okay, this hasn't been my highest paycheck, but I can still use this money and cover my groceries this month. Or I can still use this money and pay for my kid to play baseball. Okay? So we need to stop expecting that every single month is going to be an amazing month, because it's not. It's called life. Is every day amazing as a mom? I'm not a mom, but I would think not, because I see moms struggle all the time, right? Is every day amazing in your relationship with your significant other? Absolutely not. Some days I want to strangle Vince. Some days I'm like, gosh. Just all these thoughts, right? I know I'm not the only one. Oh my God. Sorry. We have found a lot of big ass spiders out here. Vince killed 2 yesterday. I killed 2 yesterday out here on our patio, so I'm probably going to be spraying soon. But back to the conversation. Last thing I'm going to say. Your 9-to-5 job, or your job that, whatever hours you work, your main income, right? If it's not Scentsy. Is every day at that job amazing? I would probably say not, right? Some days are harder than others. So it's the same thing with Scentsy. Keep pushing through. But if you give up now, when it gets hard, you're never going to see the true blessing that it can provide you and your family. Okay? And you're also not going to see the true blessing that it can provide the other people in your team and group. Okay? So, I love you guys. Give yourself grace. It's a hard season. Push through. You got this. You're strong. You're capable. You can do hard things, okay? And learn how to embrace the hard. Learn how to embrace change, okay? The world is constantly evolving, and if you can't learn how to adapt, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. So, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I am going to do some more team stuff today and make samples this morning and do some customer follow-ups. So, bye y'all.